Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. This is episode Who Cares? This is day something Who Cares in quarantine because I'm already losing my mind. What is going on, guys? Happy Friday, TGIF. What do we have to talk about today? I feel like the only thing we've been talking about lately is the Pixel, which in a lot of ways I'm okay with because I'm just generally excited for this phone, and I could talk about the Pixel all day, to be honest with you. I mean, I could talk about a lot of things all day, but the Pixel 4a coming, and then the 4a 5G, and then the Pixel 5, and then there's already rumors about the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 5a and a foldable Pixel, and we'll maybe touch base on some of these things, and we'll talk about what's in store for the future. But I titled this Pixel 4a versus the world because it's still a top contender. As late as this phone came out, as much flack as we've given this phone. Sorry, I'm like messing with stuff. I need to pay attention here. As much flack as Google has gotten for delaying this Pixel 4a, it is still getting really high remarks, it looks like, and it still looks like it's a great bang for the buck. I mean, I said this as soon as there were rumors that a 128 gig version of the Pixel 4a might come out with those purported specs at a $350 price point. I was already excited. I didn't know if it was going to be real, and it's real. And I wish I had the phone because I would love to test it out. I'm actually curious how good the battery is going to be on the Pixel 4a. If it's going to be a lot better than the iPhone SE, I'm assuming it will be, but I kind of wanted to talk about the Pixel 4a's competition and how it seems like it's going to be beating a lot of its competitors with just the price alone. And then with the camera alone. Camera and price. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Let me scroll back up here. Why 2019 was first. Congratulations, Why. You win the, I don't know, first to the stream prize. Welcome, Why. Welcome to the stream. Paul is in here as well. And that on Friday. Yes. on Friday. TGIF. Paul, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. Six is in here as well on Twitch. Six, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Let me scroll down here. So Y is saying, Jerome, there are rumors of a Snap 860. I haven't heard about this. Why an 860? Did they decide to kind of put something in the middle, something not as good as an 865, but a little better? Is it like an upgraded version of a Snap 855 Plus? I don't know anything about that. I should Google that. Snapdragon 860. Let me see. Snapdragon 860. Qualcomm. Here we go. Might as well just share this since we're here, since I'm talking about it. Qualcomm is working on a Snap 860, a stripped down version of the Snap 865. Interesting. Thank you, Y, for bringing this up. According to leaker Digital Chat Station, a recent Oppo meeting has revealed the existence of a Snap 860. This is the first time we're hearing about this silicon, and judging by its name, it'll be a lighter version of the Snap 865. Okay, so an upgrade to the, it's not an 855, it's based off the 860. So interesting. So this 875 is for next year, I think. We don't know much about it. While Google's chip is expected to make a debut next year with the Pixel 6, Oppo's plans aren't that clear. If Oppo manages to come out without its own chip, sister companies OnePlus and Vivo might ditch Qualcomm too. Well, that's good to know. I mean, whatever that 860 turns out being, we'll get a little. I'm sure we'll get more info on that chipset. But thank you, Y, for sharing that. Maybe I'll do a little more digging and figure out what else is going on with that specific chipset. Anyway, welcome, Y. Thank you again for bringing that up. Let me scroll down here. Brian is in here as well. TGIF, TNT Joe-Fi. Brian, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. TGIF indeed. Do any of you guys have plans this weekend? Are you guys doing anything? I feel like I need to go to IKEA and get stuff for this apartment. I'm actually gonna try to post a video this weekend, like an empty apartment tour, my apartment before I started putting stuff in here or before I moved anything in. My bed is messy too. I also don't do my bed. I don't make my bed because I don't see the point. I'll fluff the blankets here and there, but why am I gonna make the bed when I'm gonna just sleep on it later? I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Okay. Yeah, Brian was saying 860 and underclocked 865. Exactly. Deepak Murthy is in here. Hello, everyone. Deepak, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Big House is in here as well. What's up, people? It's Friday. It is TGIF. Big House, what's going on? Welcome. That boy can count. I can up to 8. That's about it. We are talking about the Plastic Fantastic. I like that. That's well. I like that nickname, the Plastic Fantastic. Yeah, there we go. Gboy 888 is in here. Gboy 888, welcome to the stream. Once I joined the chat, thumbs up. Once I joined the chat, Gboy, welcome, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate the thumbs up. Big House says, let's get a follow up on the Huawei. How has it been overall, and would you recommend it? So the quickest answer here is no, I can't recommend it. And it's not that I can't recommend it because it's not a good phone, because it's an excellent phone and it's still been my daily. But I know there are people who want to use Google and who want to use a couple services and whatever. And it's not that you can't use those Google services, but to your average user, you're going to have to kind of work your way around it. And you're going to have to figure those things out and update stuff. And $1,300 is still really expensive for a phone. Especially if you want, but the thing about the Huawei P40 Pro Plus is it has an excellent camera. It has excellent battery life. It has excellent battery charging, and the camera is probably one of the best out there. I still need to give a proper camera comparison, so I can't just say it's the best, but from some of the results I've gotten versus my Pixel 4, it's beaten the Pixel 4. In some of my testing with the iPhone 11 Pro, it's beaten the iPhone 11 Pro. Not in everything, but something that I need to talk about. Yeah. I know, Big House. I need to give a better update than that. I will. I'm sorry, but I appreciate you asking. Okay, let me see here. Des Moines. Oh man, please uh correct me on the pronunciation of your name. Des Moines Moses, been sub for years and I'm finally able to catch you live. What up, Jerome? What up, man? Thank you. Thank you for being a longtime supporter. I'm not, like I usually know a lot of the names from back in the day, but I'm not familiar with this one. Anyway, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you catching it live. And thanks for saying what's up in the chat. We're a very friendly community. We love to talk phones. Lately I've been loving to talk about the Pixel, but it makes sense. It's just it's the news of the hour. So okay, Wise says here, Jerome, if the Snap comes this or next month, the 860 would be perfect for the Pixel 5. Oh, that is that's a good call, but is it too late for an 860? They were probably already working on the 765 in the Pixel 5, I would imagine. I don't know if they have time to change that silicon in there or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. But that's yeah, I like that. I would love that idea. Big House says, don't make the bed. I don't. I really should, especially now that it's like the star of the show since it's back there. But I can always just put my green screen back up and lift that back up. Yeah, I know. Okay, let me scroll down here. Mandy Flores, what's up? What's up, Mandy? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for making the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but welcome. Okay, so Y says here the Google Scammer Jammer and the Google Plastic Fantastic. I like you guys and your nicknames. Very nice. Okay, so let me see. Paul says new glasses look good on you. They're actually not new. I've had them for a while. So since I've been unpacking in my apartment, I've been able to just find other things, and I was able to find that. So I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Let me put these on, and they fit pretty well. So, okay. Anyway, Deepak says, in the end, we all get absorbed by the plastic. Fantastic. There you go. Shamir Ali says, Pixel 4a with that small battery is a total bummer. Even as far as cameras concerned, Gcam consumes a lot of battery, and this phone will die soon. So that's the thing, though. So I've heard differing reports. Like the last couple of reports I read, Dieter said he was getting 4.5 hours of battery. And then David Ruddock from Android Police was saying he was getting 6 hours of screen on time. And Dieter was saying he was getting 4.5 hours of screen on time, like full day battery. So I don't know if that small battery is going to be that small. I think even though it's, a 3,100 milliamp hour battery, with the chipset that it has, it might be, it's not going to be like, this top performer when it comes to battery life, but I think it'll still be decent, especially for the price. I would be okay with 4-ish hours of screen on time for a $350 price point. I wasn't expecting 6 hours plus. I did say that if it has over 5 hours of screen on time, I would be happy to get that, but we'll see. Okay. Big House says it's all good, Jerome. That was that was reason enough. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Damon, I gotcha. Okay, Damon, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. Everybody, like new people in here, appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much. Lonky Games is in here. I'm tempted to get a cheap Android because iOS doesn't work with xCloud. That's a good point. I'm not really familiar with a lot of that either. I keep dropping my headset. Sorry guys, give me a second. And it keeps okay. Sorry. Yeah, a cheap Android. I mean, we got a cheap Android 350. We're gonna talk about it though. We're gonna talk about it. So Joshua Dunker is in here. What up, Jerome? Finally caught you live too. Joshua, nice to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thanks for making it. George is in here as well. I heard one YouTuber got 7 hours on the 4A. Right. So David Ruddock was saying he got almost 8 hours of screen on time. Now, I don't know what these guys are doing to get that much screen time. I feel like that's way too much. Okay, there's no such thing as way too much, but I feel like they might be either limiting how they're using the phone. Maybe they're trying to squeeze more out of it, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's really what kind of like battery they're getting. But if Dieter from The Verge is getting 4.5 hours, and then I'm hearing other people saying they're getting 6.5 or 7.5 or whatever, I'm just really wondering how much battery life is typical. I wonder what my typical battery life would be. I'm assuming 4.5. If I can get plus 5 hours, I would be really happy. I think that would be great for this phone. Brian says, thanks to everyone catching the stream. I'm guessing. Let's hit that like button so Jerome gets more burn on YouTube. Brian, thank you, man. Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate the love. Really, I do. Damon says, I've been enjoying xCloud beta for months now. Go ahead and grab the Pixel 4a so you can enjoy it. There you go. Thanks for providing that feedback. Starting is in here. Starting some shit. What's going on, man? Just popping in to say hi and bye. I got to run to the store. I'm going to leave this open so your voice can keep my dog company. Starting, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for leaving the stream up. Hopefully your dog enjoys my voice and doesn't find it too irritating. Ray is in here as well. Hey Ray, how's it going, man? Welcome. Hey Jerome, is the jump from a 2XL to a 4A really just a refresh of the display and camera? Already pre-ordered and excited for its arrival. So I mean, okay, let me think about the 2XL and then the transition to a 4A. First of all, with a 4A, you're going to get a much better screen to body ratio. So in that department, that's a plus. I don't remember what the Pixel 2 had in terms of its chipset. Was it the 8? Is it the 845? I don't even remember anymore. But a 2XL in terms of battery, I'm assuming maybe the battery is going to be similar, maybe a little better. In terms of performance, I don't know if they're going to be similar. The 2XL might still have better raw performance than what the 4A is going to get. I would have to dig in and do a little research on there. As far as the camera, I'm assuming the 4A will still do a little better in terms of camera, but it probably won't be like, leaps above. What's the other word? Why am I missing a word here? Leaps and bounds and leaps. Okay, forget it. Actually, Brian makes a good point. The 6 gigs of RAM helps a lot. That's true. That's very true. Okay, so anyway, I'm glad you're excited about it. Please keep us up to date when you get it too. Let me know how it compares to your Pixel 2 XL. That's a comparison that a lot of people don't make because we don't have that phone. I don't have that phone anymore, so I can't give you a fair comparison compared to it. Okay. Let me scroll back up here. Tim Schumann is in here, going to lunch, just pumping up those viewer numbers. Thank you, Tim. Guys, thank you for the love. Really, I appreciate you guys coming in and showing support, and it does really mean a lot to me. I know I say it a lot, and I know I say it all the time, but I do truly mean it. So thank you so much. George says, just reporting what he said. No, thank you for sharing that. To hear that. So that is now someone else that's corroborating more than 6 hours of screen on time. David from Android Police said it, and now you said another YouTuber just said that as well. And George with the $5 super chat. George, thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, I forgot to add all the other super chatters yesterday as well, Deepak and Kate, and I think there were a couple others who did that. George says, it's been a little while since I caught you, just a little encouragement. George, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. George has been a longtime supporter. And George has always has always chimed in and offered great insight. And for you guys that don't know, George is also a YouTuber himself who runs a weekly stream that I will sometimes be able to catch. So guys, check him out as well for Friday Night Tech Talk. Him and Will and Mike and Ted, and they run a great show as well. But George, again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let me scroll back up. Shamir is in here. Well, to get high screen on time, it's simple. Just put the phone on YouTube, loop streaming, but that's not the legit way of measuring the battery life, to be honest. And there you go. That's a fair enough point. That's why I it's nice to see maybe what it's capable of and what it can get, but this is there are ways, I think, to kind of like manipulate that system. Marcus is in here. Shamir, by the way, welcome. Marcus is in here as well. Marcus, what's going on? What's up, Jerome? Let the phone sit on a black screen and get 10 hours of screen on time. There you go. Deepak Murthy said, let's be realistic. 7 hours is way too much. 4.5 to 5 hours, maybe. And that's kind of what I'm assuming as well. I would assume that the 4A is going to get around 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time, which I think is pretty good for the price and for what it has. Y says FPT is back, everyone, in FPT 404. FPT is John Processor, right? So he's back. Good for John Processor. Next time he needs to turn on 2FA, and maybe that'll save him. Maybe. Okay. Oh, it's the Snap 835 and the Pixel 2 XL. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm really behind in my what's in these phones. Mark says it'll be fine and bounds, leaps and bounds. There we go. Will is in here. Will, what's going on? MKBHD said it's laggy. The 4A, did he say how bad it's laggy, or is he saying that it lags occasionally? So lag is something that I experienced a little bit when I had the Galaxy A71, the international version, but it wasn't awful. But again, I didn't spend a ton of time on it. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that lag is going to be on the Pixel 4a as well, and then share my experience with that and see how that works. And if anything, if that lag is bad, then it might go back. But I don't know, for 350. I don't know. Mark says, I'm getting it and I have a Galaxy S10. It'll be lighter, take better pictures, and have the Google exclusive perks. There you go. Thank you for chiming in, Mark. Ted is in here as well. Mr. Mobile said performance was fine. You come into the live stream tonight. I'm not going to be able to tonight. So I think I'm going to be heading out to IKEA later and buy a couple things. I'm still in the process of like unpacking and moving and all that kind of, or moving in. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. Maybe the week after. It's just life has been so hectic, and then like with the new job and like all like the other clients that I take care of, like I've been so busy. I'm like so far behind on my other work too. But I will make it to another Friday Night Tech Talk. It just, there might be a little transition in the meantime. But for anyone who's watching who needs some like tech in their life later tonight, check Ted out, check George out, Will, Mike, who runs Friday Night Tech Talk. They have a great show, and it's like a 2-hour live stream, and they talk about a lot of stuff. So feel free to check those guys out. Hackney Man is in here as well. Good evening from a ridiculously hot London city. This heat wave is insane. How hot is it there? Here in Chicago, and I'm sorry, I know we're so backwards when it comes to measurements and whatever, but here in Chicago, it's like in the mid 70s or so, low to mid 70s Fahrenheit, not Celsius, so whatever that translates to in Celsius. But it's actually been really nice. It might start heating up though, but it's nothing awful. I think we had that like heat wave in the end of June or early July when we were like in the 90s or mid 90s, which is weird. Like since I've lost like all this weight, like I actually like the 90s. I actually don't mind the heat as bad. Fear the Roof 42 is in here. Fear the Roof 42. How's it going? Just watching today, not chatting today, except for this one. Well, thank you for chiming in. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you stopping by and showing some support. Team Varai is in here as well. Checking in. Hi, everyone. Team Varai, what's going on? Welcome. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. George says, Will's right. MKBHD is the only one I heard say it's laggy. He said it wasn't too bad. I mean that's good to know, but also at the same time, lag is lag. And that is an issue that, well, and I'm seeing Will here saying that chip won't hold up, and that's something I actually want to talk about because I have something to discuss. When I today I wanted to take some time and talk about the Pixel 4a and the iPhone SE, the 2020 iPhone SE, and kind of compare the two. And I'm going to take some time and talk about that today, but we'll get into that in a second here. So George is saying around 90 in Chattanooga. So yeah, that's the weather I was used to seeing here in Chicago, and it's cooled off since then. Team Verizon says Hackney Men, it's been warm here in Manchester as well. I thought I'd be safe from the heat of the Philippines. There you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get started. The first article that I have here is going to talk about the Pixel 4a and how it sold out. So the pre-order sold out on Amazon, currently a quote #1 bestseller. I did a quick check on Amazon myself, and it's currently unavailable. It's no longer available. And it says here, we don't know when or if this item will be back in stock. I mean, it'll be back in stock. We just don't know when. So this article from 9 to 5 Google says Amazon on Monday started taking pre-orders for the Pixel 4a. After becoming a quote #1 bestseller just before noon on Thursday, Amazon in the US ran out of the Pixel 4a pre-order inventory. So if you ordered one, or if you were thinking about ordering a Pixel 4a and you didn't get a chance to do so, sorry, now you got to wait. But maybe that wait is the better choice, because maybe if you're not able to get the Pixel 4a now that it's like sold out, well, at least sold out on Amazon. I don't know what it looks like on Google Store, but if you're not able to get the 4a right now, maybe that's the better decision. So you can wait and see if the Pixel 4a 5G is maybe the better option for you. So the Google Store and Fi are still taking pre-orders ahead of the August 20 launch. Okay, so you can still take pre-orders. We don't have any sales figures in the case of Amazon, but it's an impressive feat nonetheless. At $350, it's even cheaper than last year's phone by $50. The Pixel 4a has a 5.81-inch screen powered by a Snap 730 with 6 gigs of RAM. It's only available with 128 gigs of storage, in a doubling from last year, and one color. This helps reduce the number of SKUs that Google has to manufacture. It has the same 12.2 main. We know all this. We're not going to talk. I just wanted to share that Amazon sold out when it comes to pre-orders of this phone. So again, if you were thinking about getting it and you're not able to, I mean, it looks like you can still get it from the Google Store under pre-order. And I don't know if you heard that or not. It's just very loud outside. And if not, maybe it's just best to wait and see what the Pixel 4a 5G has to offer. So let's kind of move forward though, and let's talk about the competition of the Pixel 4a. This phone, at the price point, at the specs that it has, is giving a lot of other phones a run for its money. The #1 competitor obviously is the iPhone SE, the 2020 iPhone SE. And I've kind of like touched base on like what it has to offer, how it can compete, how it competes, or how it can compete against the iPhone SE, and what's the better overall phone here. And I think my answer for this is it depends. It depends, which isn't what people want to hear, but really the answer here is it depends. And we're gonna go into this. So who wrote this? So this is an article from Mac Rumors. Could it be biased on Apple? Maybe, but let's see what they have to say. I haven't had a chance to read this, so let's get into it. Google this week launched its newest smartphone, the 350 Pixel 4a, a low-cost device that's designed to compete with other affordable devices like Apple's iPhone SE. And then again, the iPhone SE is a $400 phone versus the Pixel 4a at $350. We picked up one of the new 4a smartphones and thought we'd check it out to see how it measures up to the iPhone SE, given that the two devices have such similar price points. So the first thing that we can talk about here is, well, I already pointed it out, is the price. The iPhone SE is a $400 phone that has 64 gigs of internal storage. The Pixel 4a is a $350 phone with 128 gigs of internal storage. So right now, the the Pixel 4a is $50 cheaper and has double the internal storage. So keep that in mind. If you want to get a iPhone SE with 128 gigs of internal storage, you're talking $450. You're talking a $100 price increase at that point. So in those terms, in the terms of price and in terms of internal storage, the Pixel 4a already comes out ahead there. If we're talking about the display, the Pixel 4a features a 5.81 inch OLED panel, which is larger than the iPhone's 4.7 inch LCD display. And I wish there was a better picture that showed the two here, but you can already see the iPhone SE has a huge bezel on the top. It has a huge bezel on the bottom where the fingerprint reader is there as well, while the Pixel 4a has a much more modern 2020 design when it comes to its display. It is definitely more, screen to body ratio than what the iPhone SE offers. Again, for people who aren't aware, this iPhone SE is basically an iPhone 8 that had its guts removed and it was replaced with more, up-to-date specs. So let's go ahead and go on. Again, if we're talking about price, internal storage, and display, the Pixel 4a already has the iPhone SE beat there. But that's not everything, and the iPhone SE is going to compete a lot, and I just haven't got into it. So I'm not sitting here trying to make a case for the Pixel 4a. I'm just trying to put those things into fruition, into light, however you want to call it. So when it comes to a straight display quality comparison, you might think the 4a would be leagues better with the OLED panel, but both are close in quality. The 4a wins out with OLED, but the iPhone SE's LCD panel still looks good. And I wasn't expecting the OLED panel on the Pixel 4a to be, amazing. I'm actually surprised that in their testing that the LCD panel still is very favorable or still very comparable to the Pixel 4a. I mean, I can just have to trust with what they say because I don't have an iPhone SE or a Pixel 4a in front of me, so I can't compare the two. I would have just assumed that an OLED panel would have easily had a better display in terms of quality versus an LCD. But it says here the iPhone SE has a Touch ID home button in the bottom bezel, and the 4a also uses a fingerprint sensor, but it's located at the rear of the device. Touch ID beats out most other fingerprint sensors when it comes to accuracy and phone unlocking time, and there's no exception here. Google's fingerprint sensor is fine, but Touch ID is more accurate and less prone to failure. I don't really know about that. I really don't know. I know Touch ID is good, and I know Touch ID is excellent when it comes to security and accuracy, but on the Pixel 3 that I've owned, the fingerprint reader was great. Not to mention the fact that the fingerprint reader does more than just unlock your phone, but you're also able to use it to swipe down and swipe up for notifications, something that I've talked about many times. One of the things I love about it. Also, for me personally, I think the placement of a rear fingerprint reader makes a lot more sense than having a fingerprint reader on the front. We can debate this because there's also the fact that if your phone's sitting on a table, then a front fingerprint reader makes more sense. Sure. But for me, when I'm walking around, when I'm standing up and I'm pulling the phone out of my pocket, I can already take the phone and put it, when I put my hand in my pocket, I'm already reaching for the fingerprint reader. And by the time I pull it out of my pocket, the phone is already unlocked. So for me personally, I think the rear fingerprint reader is a plus. I would rather have that than having it on the front. Not to mention the fact that putting the fingerprint reader or putting Touch ID on the front completely destroys the display. It removes, it takes away from the all screen display that the Pixel 4a gives you. I don't know though. It says here Google's fingerprint sensor is fine, but Touch ID is more accurate and less prone to failure. I would really like to test that out because I just don't believe they make it sound like that. The fingerprint reader is subpar on the Pixel 4a, and I don't really know if that's the case, but we'll continue. To keep costs low, Google built the 4A out of plastic. So when it comes to quality, the iPhone SE's glass and aluminum design wins out. It looks and feels like a more premium smartphone than the Pixel 4A, but the glass has more potential to break. So that's a fair point. When it comes to build quality, and I think we all knew this, when it comes to build quality, the iPhone SE is going to take the crown here. Glass and aluminum compared to plastic on the 4A, but there's also the argument that this is an outdated phone. The design is outdated by how many years now? Which is why if we look at this photo here, the bezels are ridiculous. It's still not the worst design in the world. I use the iPhone SE. I bought the red iPhone SE, and I thought it was good. I actually enjoyed using it. I didn't look at the display and I was like, man, this display is so tiny. That didn't really register in my head when I was using it. It still was decent and it still did what I needed it to do. But if I'm looking at both of these phones right here, if you're looking at both of these phones right now and you ask me which one I would take the Pixel 4A. Just for its bigger display. Look at this footprint. Look at this form factor on this phone. This is still a small phone. This is a small phone with a really big display. This is something that I will say here. This is something that iPhone SE users, original iPhone SE users, wish that they had on the new iPhone SE. I guess I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like what people wanted on the iPhone SE was the same smaller phone, but with a bigger display. And yeah, the Pixel 4a isn't the smallest phone in the world, but it's still small in terms of, today's modern age of big ass screens and really big form factors. So, okay, let's move on. The iPhone SE is equipped with Apple's latest A13 chip, which is blazing fast. It puts the iPhone SE on par with Apple's flagship iPhones when it comes to performance, a factor that makes the iPhone SE's $399 price a good deal for those who are more focused on performance. The 4A has a Snap 730, but it doesn't perform at the level of the A13. No, not at all. You may not notice a significant difference in everyday use, but there are some tasks where the iPhone SE will outshine the 4A, which is just a bit laggier and less smooth. So that's the thing, there's no doubting that. There's no debating this at all. The A13 chipset that is in the iPhone SE is leaps and bounds better than the Snapdragon 730. It is way better. And I think, okay, let me put it this way. If we're talking about a phone right now and you just do things like text message and check your email and check Twitter and, watch a YouTube video and check Instagram, right? I'm sure the Pixel 4a will be more than fine for you. Will it maybe lag and stutter? Maybe. And that's something that I'll have to test out once I start using it and start really heavy, using it as my daily, because this will be my daily driver for a bit when I get this phone. And obviously this is not going to be a problem for the iPhone SE. All the things that I just listed that, will be okay for the 4A will be more than fine on the iPhone SE. When it comes to heavier things though, if you're talking about using a phone and you're multitasking, if you're talking about gaming on a phone and using something that's going to be more processor heavy, the iPhone SE is going to be the phone to use. Okay? So, yes, performance wise, gaming wise, the iPhone SE is the phone to pick. But I have to expound on that. I have to talk about this more, because we're not just talking about when I said earlier, if I'm talking about today, that's today, 2020, August 7th, 2020. Today, it'll be fine. Next month, it'll be fine. What is the Pixel 4a going to look like a year from now? Even after getting its OS update, what is the Pixel 4a going to look like 2 years from now when it receives its second OS update? Or 3 years from now? Is the Pixel 4a still going to hold up after 3 years? That's the real question. Will this iPhone SE hold up 3 years from now, performance wise, multitasking wise, gaming wise? I am pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure it will. It's optimized for it. You know, I think in terms of longevity, strictly in terms of longevity, the iPhone SE is going to be the phone to get. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Pixel 4a is I'm not saying that it's not going to hold up a year from now, 2 years from now, or even 3 years from now. I just question its longevity. I question how good the phone will perform 3 years from now. The thing I have to point out here is if you are actually buying a phone and you know you're going to keep that phone for 3+ years, for 4 years, for even 5 years, iPhones are known to last 5 years and get updates for 5 years and last even longer than that. I mean, Kate was on here yesterday and Kate was telling me that she's still rocking the original, I think it was the iPhone SE. Still using it fine, no problems. She's definitely gotten her money's worth from that phone. The question here about spending $350 for a Pixel 4a is the fact that you might have to look into upgrading your Pixel 4a, maybe not a year from now, but maybe 2 years from now. Maybe 2 years from now, it's not performing as well as you originally had it. I'm not saying that's going to be the case. There is just the possibility that might happen. And that's for the pure fact of its chipset. That's really it. I'm not obviously I'm not trying to hate on the Pixel 4a. I'm just trying to be real about it. I'm trying to be real about what could potentially happen with that phone. And that might not be the case for many people, especially if all you're doing is checking Twitter and checking Instagram and watching a YouTube video and texting and checking your email. If it's as simple as that, I think the phone is going to be great for you. And I think it's going to last you a long time. And it's the reason I bought the phone as well, because it packs a lot of specs for the price. But if we're talking about pure performance, we're talking about gaming on a phone, then the iPhone SE might be the better choice there. Okay. I spent a lot of time on that because I want to make sure that I'm not being biased about it and I'm being upfront about it and what you can expect if you get a Pixel 4a versus an iPhone SE. Okay. When it comes to battery life, the 4a has a 3140 milliamp hour battery, while the iPhone SE has an 1800 milliamp hour battery. So it says here, the Pixel 4a had noticeably better battery life in his testing. This doesn't surprise me either. The battery life I knew was going to be better on the 4a. I know that the battery on the iPhone SE was nowhere close to even being great. The Pixel 4a also sports 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of base storage, while the iPhone SE has 3 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of base storage. So you're getting more storage for a lower price point with the Pixel, which is something that I've talked about already. While the iPhone SE offers a Lightning port and wireless charging, the Pixel 4a has no wireless charging and a USB-C port, which is a consideration for those who prefer wireless charging or USB-C port access. So these are other things that I have to point out as well. If wireless charging is important to you, you can get wireless charging with the iPhone SE. If you're tired of connecting your cable, there you go. For me, it's not a deal breaker. I don't really use wireless charging often. I'll use it here and there, but it's not the end of the world for me. To point out, the iPhone SE is also, it's dust and water resistant. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check because now it's been a while since since I went through the specs on it. But yeah, so it's IP. I knew it wasn't IP68, but it is IP67 dust and water resistance, which again speaks to its build quality, speaks to the quality of, the care they put into the materials or whatever. So wireless charging, IP67 dust and water resistance, and a pretty badass chipset, right? So that's what the iPhone SE has going for it. The iPhone SE has an older camera that was first used in the iPhone 8, and it's a 12 megapixel single lens setup. The 4a also has a single lens 12.2 megapixel camera, but it has some of Google's AI, computational photography and image processing features. So photos on the 4a look better. Well, and here's this is a great shot here. The Pixel 4a showing a bit more contrast. here they're pointing out how it's softer. It probably pulls the shadows up a little bit here in the greens, but for me, I do prefer a much more like contrasty shot, but that's also personal preference. We can sit here and we can talk about like the nuances when it comes to these day shots, but I feel like the iPhone SE is able to hold its own when it comes to day shots for sure. Easily hold its own. If we're talking about night shots, it's going to be a different story here. And it looks like they're not even talking about it, which is unfortunate. So let me just put my 2 cents in here as well. When we're talking about the camera, the Pixel 4a, that is what the Pixel is known for. It's great camera. And I ranted about this yesterday for a while, and I'm going to rant about it today too, because when we talk about the camera, I'm not just talking about photos. The Pixel 4a is going to have the better camera when it comes to photos. When it comes to day shots, I think the Pixel 4a and iPhone SE will be similar. The Pixel 4a will still edge it out. I think in more cases than not, the Pixel 4a will edge it out. In portrait mode, that has yet to be seen. That's something that I'm going to have to test out. But at night, the Pixel 4a will most likely trounce the iPhone SE. Not saying that the iPhone SE is not capable of taking night shots, because it can, just it doesn't have night mode. It's not able to capture shots like the Pixel 4a will in the evening or in low light scenarios, in low light situations. So there, the Pixel 4a has it beat. But when it comes to a camera, it's not just about photos. It's also about video. When it comes to video, I am fairly certain that the iPhone SE will still beat the Pixel 4a when it comes to video. The iPhone SE will still perform better in video quality, in probably stabilization as well. And that's something that the Pixel 4 or the Pixel lineup in general, Pixel 4a, and I don't know if this is going to get corrected in the Pixel 4a 5G or in the Pixel 5, but video is something that I need to keep pointing out until they get that corrected. I said this yesterday. The thing that I find very annoying is the fact that I don't want to pull my Pixel out when I want to take day shots or night shots, but then I have to pull my iPhone out when I want to do video. Or lately, in my case, the Pixel 4a or the iPhone 11 Pro is the phone I pull out at night over my Pixel 4, because the iPhone 11 Pro, at least in my experience, has proven to have the better camera at night than the Pixel 4. I don't want to have a phone where I have to like pull a specific phone out to get something better. I want a phone that can give me all of that. And that's what I'm hoping the Pixel 5 will give me, but I don't know if that's going to be the case this year. I don't know. I don't know if the Pixel 5 is going to be a stopgap solution until Google releases their Pixel 6 with their own chipset. And maybe they're just like, yeah, let's give them a good Pixel phone, but let's not go overboard. And let's do all the good stuff by the time the Pixel 6 comes out, which I really hope isn't the case. Anyway, so yeah, here's another little spec as well. Apple does win out when it comes to video quality. Okay, because the iPhone SE supports 4K 60 FPS video, and it has much better image stabilization than the Pixel 4a. I was gonna say, hopefully that's not the only reason it beats out the Pixel 4a. I hope they were going to talk about that. The image stabilization is better, and most likely, I'm assuming their video quality is better as well. The iPhone SE runs iOS. Pixel 4a runs Android, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about the ecosystem and all that, but some of that stuff is also subjective. But it's also good to point out that Apple's ecosystem is polished very, very well. Apple's ecosystem is always on point, it seems, more times than not when you compare it to Android. There are still a lot of apps that I use on my Android phone or on any Android phone that lacks features that Apple gets, which doesn't really make sense to me. The fact that, easy example here is Instagram. Instagram on my iPhone, when I need to like edit a photo and at like straightening a photo or whatever, I'll get, like the 3x3 grid or 6x6 grid. And my Android phone used to have that, and now a lot of that is gone, or the 6x6 grid. Anyway, there are features that are here and there that are no longer available. And I'm not just talking about Instagram, just other apps as well. And I mean, we can talk about the fact that like I still don't get certain features on other, well, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. It just seems like it just seems like a lot of the times Apple's ecosystem is just more refined, or it's more up to date. And I don't know if it has to do with Android having 8 million Android phones and not everything can be universal, but yeah. Okay. So let me continue on here. We're talking about support. We're talking about ecosystem support, software support, and Apple guarantees iOS updates for years to come. And I think that number is around 5 years at this point. So the iPhone SE should be supported until at least 2024. Android smartphones don't often get as many updates, but Google is better about providing new software for Pixel phones and has pledged to provide updates for the Pixel 4a for at least 3 years. So in terms of straight up support, in terms of like software updates or whatever, the iPhone again will best the Pixel there. In the future, we may actually see an Apple-designed lower-cost smartphone that more closely mirrors the design of the Pixel 4a, because Apple's rumored to be working on a new version of the iPhone SE called the iPhone SE Plus. It allegedly features an all-display design with a fingerprint sensor built into the power button, but it's not coming out until 2021. So that's about it when we're talking about the iPhone SE and the Pixel 4a. I think I've kind of covered everything that I needed to. Probably not. There's always something that I'm sure I've missed, but that's also why I said the answer really depends. It depends on what's important to you. If you're looking, if you know you're going to be holding a phone for more than 3 years, more than 4 years, then maybe the iPhone SE is the better choice here. I would just recommend that maybe you spend the extra $100 and get more storage. But see, then you're talking $450 for a phone. And I feel like there are other options that you can buy at $450, unless you want to be stuck. Stuck is maybe not the right word. Unless you want an Apple phone. If an Apple phone is what you need, then maybe that's the choice to get. But when we start going from $350, it's not even $350. It's $400. Actually, Brian sent me an article earlier today that was saying that you can get a OnePlus 7T on T-Mobile right now, just the T-Mobile version for $400. And it's like, man, like, well, the camera's not going to be as good, but I guess what I'm trying to say is you just got to think of the other options that are out there. At $350 for the Pixel 3a or the Pixel 3a, at $350 for the Pixel 4a, there aren't a lot of other phones that can beat its specs. It's, it's whatever, like camera performance, amongst other things that are going for it at that price point. This is why I'm very excited for the Pixel 4a, because I have a Pixel 4. I've seen it all. Everything on the Pixel 4a, I'm going to get on my Pixel 4 and then some, except I'm not going to get the display is much better on this Pixel 4a, or at least in terms of aesthetics, than my Pixel 4. But everything that I have on the Pixel 4a, everything that's on the Pixel 4a, I can already get it on the Pixel 4. But I'm very excited for the 4a because of its price and because of what it offers, and because at that price point, I just feel like not many phones can be beat there. Unless you can live with $400 on an iPhone SE with 64 gigs of internal storage. Yeah, that's it. This wasn't meant for me to say this is what you should buy and this is what you shouldn't buy, because that everybody has different priorities. Everyone has different like opinions on things. And, like for me, a big thing is video on a phone. I record video all the time on my phones. And it's one of the reasons that when I record video, I'm always recording with my iPhone 11 Pro. There's a reason I do that. And that's because that iPhone 11 Pro is solid when it comes to video quality. It really is. And I know that I won't always get that same quality when it comes to my Pixel 4. So for me, that's a high priority. For other people, it might not even be a priority. Some people might not even take video. Some people might not even really care about photos. So like if that's the case, then maybe neither of these phones are even important to you. Maybe you want to spend $400 on a OnePlus phone instead, and you want something that has higher performance. Well, the iPhone SE has good performance, but you know what, like a bigger display, whatever. You guys, all I'm saying is the options are there. You just gotta figure out what your options are. Let me get back into chat. Quickly, Brian with the $1 super chat. Brian, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the continued support. Thank you for your streak of super chats, man. You are always dropping in and providing support and extra support, and I appreciate that. So, Brian, thank you so much, man. Thank you. All right, let me scroll back up here. I know the chat was kind of going back and forth, so I just want to see what you guys have to say. Let me go down here. Paul says here in Holland, tomorrow will be the hottest day, and today was already 35, 95. That is warm for sure. Okay, so Will is saying no squeeze feature and only one color. So for me, the squeeze thing isn't a big thing for me because I don't use it. The one color thing, yeah, that's you just get black with the seafoam green power button, but I don't know, for some reason that really wasn't bothering me either. Gorilla Glass 3, yes, Gorilla Glass 3 for sure. That is what it's getting. Mark Smith says, just wondering why won't it hold up? Is there a problem with it for just average user pictures and video consumption? No, yeah, like I said, Mark, for that kind of stuff, you're not gonna get issues with it. It should hold up fine. Okay. Will says it's not competing with iPhone because they run different OSs. The Pixel has to compete with budget Android phones. I mean, yeah, but there are other people who are also considering an iPhone SE over the Pixel 4a. I mean, I've read multiple articles about how people have been switching over to iPhone because of the iPhone SE that came out at that $400 price point. While that might be a fair point, it's not everybody. There's still people who might be teeter-tottering towards iPhones or Androids and flip-flopping. So there's still a niche of people who might be deciding what phones to get. Okay. Mark says, well, technically, I don't think that Pixel, although good, is not really competing, period. Most people just go with the names they know. That's a good point as well. Sergio says, I'm hanging on to my Pixel 4 for unlimited storage. I do miss that perk on the Pixel 4. Wait, are you getting unlimited storage on your Pixel 4? Are you saying the unlimited storage with not original quality? Is that what you're saying? I don't know how that works anymore. I haven't kept up with a lot of that. Okay. Y says, everybody says, Sergio, did I say hi, by the way? I can't remember if I did. Sergio, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Everybody says the Snap 730G won't hold up, but this is also the chipset that is on the normal Mi 9T or Redmi K20, not the Pro. Thank you for pointing that out. Why? Deepak says, in fact, Mi 9T is a very smooth phone. There you go. I think maybe lag could be more about software rather than the 730G. Will says bezels aren't a big deal. That's also subjective, man. That depends on the person. After looking at this photo, that's the thing. It's like, Will, your bias is showing very strong here for Apple. But like when I look at this right here, I would easily pick the Pixel 4a because I just think it's a much better looking design, but still at a much smaller form factor. But that's me. So while it might not be a big deal to you, I would definitely pick this one over the iPhone SE for sure, if we're talking about display and media consumption or whatever. But again, that's me. Okay. Let me see here. Brian says, Apple ID has more margin of error with the hand sanitizing. The Pixel 3 XL fingerprint scanner misses more, but the Apple ID scanner is slower. Thanks for pointing that out. I don't know where a lot of this where a lot of this gets, like, who does the testing for this? Like, where do we get these actual results here? Huh. Y says, this is an important message for everyone here. Do not buy the Galaxy A20s. It's on Amazon's best sellers, but there are way better options at that price point, like a Redmi 9 or a Redmi Note 8. Thank you, Y. Thank you for providing feedback for that. Mark says, Will, there's no doubt iPhone SE will have a better processor, but that doesn't mean much for the average user. Watching media, taking pictures, posting to social media, that's what most people want. Will says, true, Mark, but if it's already even somewhat laggy for MKBHD, that isn't a good sign, in my honest opinion. Mark is saying, he was saying compared to 90 hertz refresh rate. Okay. Jonathan Rivera, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. A13 chip in a phone with a 4.7-inch screen and horrible battery life. How are you supposed to enjoy that powerful chipset with those huge caveats? That's a good point too. I mean, you guys are making great points. These are all things to consider, and that is also why, like, I love bringing the chat up, because I've said this many times. I don't know everything, and there's always things that I miss, and I appreciate you guys bringing a lot of this stuff up. Okay. So Team Verizon says, this makes me think of getting an SE to complement my 3A there. And you can kind of like, compare the two. It'll make for a good video, Team Verizon. Paul says, who knows? Thank you, Paul. Mark says, if I were to buy an iPhone, I'd wait for the 12. I wonder if I'm going to be getting a 12 Pro or a 12 Pro Max. I wonder if they're really going to add something different for the 12 Pro. Or if they're really going to add something different for the 12 Pro Max over the 12 Pro. I guess we'll wait and see. Big House Productions with the $5 super chat. Big House says, another great stream, Jerome. Thank you, Big House. Thank you, man. I just received my Moto Edge, so no Pixel for me for a few weeks. I just love how you say no Pixel for me for a few weeks, because we know you're gonna get something anyway. Time to unbox it when I get home. Big House, congrats on your Moto Edge. Let me know how it is. Keep me posted on how you're liking it. If you guys don't know, Big House owns 8,000 different phones. He's shown me pictures of his phones, and when I say 8,000, he literally owns 8,000 phones. No, he has a lot of phones. Big House, congrats. Big House, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate it. Okay, let me scroll back up here. Deepak says, for me, an IP-rated phone is more useful than wireless charging. Yeah, I think I would have to agree with you there. I'm trying to think which one is more important to me. Maybe it is that, because I really, like, right now, look, so I have this is my Pixel stand that Google gave me. Hey, Google, remember when you used to give me free shit and now you don't give me anything? I don't know where the cable is. The only reason I have this is I was unpacking, and I was like, oh, my Pixel stand that I've never used ever. Well, I've used it once or twice, but I was like, well, maybe I'll put it here on my desk and I'll start using it, but I can't find the charger. So wherever that is, whenever I find it, maybe I'll start using it. But yeah, again, if you ask me what I use more, I mean, technically you don't use IP68 water and dust resistance, but that is actually being used more than the wireless charging that any of my phones are capable of having. Brian says here, 4A got advantage in photos, battery life, screen, price, and multitasking. SE 2020 got advantage in software support, build quality, and video recording. Very true. And wireless charging. And the 4A has an advantage in a bigger display and a nicer looking aesthetic. And a cheaper price. And more storage. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Oh, Brian says, and raw performance for the SE 2020. There you go. Okay. Will says, with Samsung offering 3 years of support, it's hard for me to pay the same price for a flagship Pixel that I'd pay for an S20. That's true too. Now that Samsung, if you guys saw that, Samsung is going to be offering 3 years of support, which is great. That's a win for everybody. Brian was actually talking to me about this earlier today, and I think Brian was like, yeah, it might force Google to now offer 4 years of software support, which is a good thing. That's a win for everyone. for sure. Solwonk says, Solwonk, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, man. I could care less with the Apple ecosystem if I had an iPhone. I like using Windows for everything I need. There you go. Fair enough point too. Solwonk, welcome. Deepak says Samsung One UI is a very refined UI, but iOS apps are of better quality. There you go. Mark also says a lot of the technical community keeps an app on iPhone and not Android, or they work better on Apple. Yeah, for sure. Alan, Mike, Varai, Team Varai. What's up, Jerome? What's going on, Alan? I feel weird calling you Alan and not Team Varai. Thanks for watching me on Facebook. Thank you, Six, for watching me on Twitch. It's always good to see other people on other platforms. It makes me think like it's working. People, but I don't know if it really is or not. I figure I might as well multi-stream. So I appreciate you guys stopping in on the other streams to check it out. Okay, so let me see here. Oh, that's right. Mark is saying 300 on Best Buy if you activate there. That's true too. Fear the Roof 42 says, okay, I lied. One more after listening to all of this. When my Pixel 4 dies, we'll be watching with a 210 hertz refresh rate, Snap 985, 36 gigs of RAM. Thought to text messages, cotton candy making machine. Thank you, Fear the Roof, for sharing your info there. Ted, what's going on, Ted? Thought to text messages, more like text. Ted, what's going on, Ted? Ray says, on my 2XL, I frequently use the squeeze feature for setting reminders, but I don't think I'll have a problem swiping up on the 4A. There you go. George says, okay, Ted, the old guy has no idea what you mean. We'll just keep it that way, George. Yeah, the 4A doesn't have unlimited storage, no unlimited storage at original quality anymore. Right. Starting says, I'm back sweating like background I'm back sweating like a background dancer in a Cardi B video. Welcome back, Starting. Appreciate you stopping by or staying in here. Marcus says, high quality works well for pictures since they are only 12 megapixels, but it won't do much for video. Yeah, actually, Marcus, I think I caught your comment in my video yesterday. So thank you for pointing that out too. I don't know when the Pixel is going to equal out to the iPhone when it comes to video quality. I think that's something that we really need to start pushing and making sure that they do properly. I don't know when that's going to happen. I really don't. Demont says, I've had zero issues with my Pixel OG and Pixel 3 XL fingerprint reader. I wash my hands multiple times a day and sanitize constantly. Thank you for sharing that info. Selwonk says the Pixel 4a is sold out on Amazon. I know you missed it. I already talked about that, Selwonk. Where have you been? Just kidding. Ishmael Harden, welcome. Any news on the new HTC? Ishmael, I have been out of the loop. I really don't know. I'm not sure about any of the news on the new HTC. Maybe someone in chat knows something about it, but I'm not going to be able to help you out there. Sorry. George says, as a motorcycle and bicycle rider, give me the IP rating every time. That's actually a really good point, George. I appreciate you saying that. Now that I've sold my car and all I have is my bicycle, which is over there, and my moped, which is actually, it's not here yet. It's still in my mom's garage. But when it gets here, whenever I go up to the suburbs and bring it down, that's a fair point too. I would be using that IP rating more than anything else. But yeah, I love tech a lot. Welcome to the stream. How's it going, man? Look forward to your Pixel 4a review. I know I can trust you. Didn't get phone free, so you're going to tell it like it is. I mean, I would do that whether or not I got the phone for free. I love tech a lot. Well, I don't know if you've ever watched my Pixel 3 reviews. I'm sure you've watched my Pixel 3 camera comparisons, but I got the Pixel 3 for free, and that bias never changed. On my Pixel 3, my phone turned green, my screen turned green, and it like completely got messed up. And I made a video about that, and I was not kind. Also, the Pixel 3 audio quality, maybe that's why Google stopped giving me phones, because I would not stop complaining about the audio quality on the Pixel 3 and how awful it was. I made multiple videos about that. But yeah, even if I got a phone for free, I would never like be kind if, just because I wanted another free phone. That's why I have never received another LG phone. I've never received another Motorola phone. I will probably never receive a TCL phone, but that's my own fault because I haven't even made the videos for that. I've only gotten one Google phone. What other companies have given me free phones? I think that's it. I don't think HTC's ever given me a free phone. Whatever. Scarlets, what's going on? Scarlets, welcome to the stream. iPhone SE is more than $100 difference in many countries outside the US. In Canada, it costs $190 more for the 128 gig iPhone SE. So hopefully that answers your question then. Like that's a non-competitor. You wouldn't go with that phone whatsoever then. So thank you for pointing that out. I really don't. It's crazy how different countries have different prices on phones, and I appreciate you saying that. Okay, so let me see here. Mark Smith says a Ziploc bag equals IP67. Just about. I think the last time I've checked, a Ziploc bag is IP67, dust and water resistant. I Love Tech a Lot says, yeah, I did watch them. That's why I said it. Well, thank you. I Love Tech a Lot for supporting always. Brian says, my hands get ashy as hell after all the hand washing. Damon, you get better skin genetics than me. There you go. Deepak says, if you don't have wireless charging, you can charge normally, but if you don't have IP rating, you can use it under the rain. That's a good point too. Starting says, I live in Canada, so for me, the Pixel 4a at $479 didn't seem worth it over the long run. Great point. That 730 will get dated. Also a great point. But the Pixel 4a 5G with a 765G, bigger screen, extra lens rumored at US $499, in Canada $679. $679. Wow. Why are the prices so much higher in Canada? Jeez. Y says, DxO Mark said Ziploc had the best camera too. Okay, guys. We're already over the hour easily. I should just start doing streams 2 hours a day. I feel like talking in chat easily eats up 45 minutes of the stream. Again, I've gone through 2 stories today. That's it. Really quick, guys, for anyone in the stream, please hit that like button. I know that sounds like cheesy, like begging for likes, but really I ask because it's a way to support, but it is a way that I think people will find the channel. I think it helps in the algorithm. So if you get a chance, hit that like button. If you are also not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I do stream weekdays at 2 p.m. Central, and we talk tech all the time, and we have a good time, and we have a good community. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. If you want, hit that bell notification so you know when I'm streaming. Otherwise, the last thing that I was like, how do I segue this marketing thing really quick too? If you are in chat and you notice people with green in their name, or you see a red Chicago star next to their name, that's because they are part, let me pull this up, of the Phone Jerome fam, and you can be one too for as little as 99 cents a month. You can join this channel. All you got to do is click this blue button right here. You'll get the red Chicago star next to your name. You'll get to use custom emoji, and you'll get your name in every single one of my intros and outros to my live streams. There are different tiers as well, but you can do it for as little as 99 cents a month. Again, all you got to do is click that blue join button. And if you can't find that blue join button, you can go to youtube.com/Phone Jerome/join. And that's all I'm really going to say about that. Really, at the end of the day, guys, it's just a way to support, and I do appreciate it. If you're not able to support that way, because I know times are tough, and I totally get that, liking, subscribing, sharing the video even is just a way to support otherwise, and I do appreciate it. So thank you. I don't really know what I want to. So I have a meeting today in about 15 minutes. Now Siri actually thinks I'm trying to talk to it. I'm not. 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So like I kind of have to like push the rest of the stories aside here. But I don't know what I want to talk about. So there is this other article that kind of coincided with what we were talking about today. But there was this article about Google Pixel 4a versus the iPhone SE and why Google beats Apple. But maybe we'll save this for Monday. Maybe we can rehash this again after like I take a little time and think about it. And then there was this article as well. Mid-range phone comparison: the 4A versus the iPhone SE versus the Galaxy A51. Let me just make this short and sweet. The Pixel 4A is a good choice. The iPhone SE is also equally a good choice, depending on what your priorities are, depending on what you think is worth your money. In terms of the Galaxy A51, I would just pass on the Galaxy A51 unless you're looking for a gigantic form factor of a phone and you want like a gigantic battery. Otherwise, I think the Pixel 4a or the iPhone SE are probably the better choices for you when it comes to a phone like that. So that's a short and sweet synopsis of that article. I'm just trying to see what else is out here. There's stuff about like the Google Pixel 5 and the availability in other countries. And that's something that like starting, I'm like, stop. It's not entanglement. Would you stop with entanglement? It's 3 p.m. By my God. Okay. Anyway, yeah, all of my other stories really today are about the Pixel. They're about the Pixel 5. They're talking about the foldable Pixel. That's something we'll leave towards Monday. We're gonna keep this stuff Pixel heavy because it's really what is going on right now. And for me, the reason I want to talk about Pixels a lot is because I want to make sure that I can recommend. What's important to me is being able to recommend phones to people. I think trying to help people find the value for their money is important. And I don't know. I also like Google Pixel phones, so I'm just going to keep talking about it. I do have one final thing that I wanted to share. And if you haven't had a chance, I'm like glancing at chat and I'm just like, oh, I see there's someone else here. Fernando, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you stopping by on Facebook. It looks like good morning, lads. Well, good morning to you, Fernando. Here in Chicago, it's 3 p.m, so good afternoon. But welcome, Fernando. Welcome to the stream. Let me kind of like wrap everything up here. If you guys haven't had a chance, everybody likes free money. Now that I was talking about value and spending the best money for value on a phone, I also wanted to share and ask, did you already file your claim to get your free $12? You heard that right. You can get $12 for free. All you got to do is fill this claim out. You can now get $12 for free if you use Google Plus between 2015 and 2018. And a little tip for you: even if you didn't use it between 2015 and 2018, I think you might still be eligible. I think you should still try to fill that out. So Google maintains that no harm was suffered by any Google Plus customer. Google is trying to like avoid this lawsuit or whatever is going on. Google was sued over a Google Plus security flaw that exposed user data between 2015 and 2018 because, of course, who cares about our privacy and security? What is our privacy and security worth to these companies? $12. But you might as well take advantage of it and fill out this form and get your free $12. That $12 is, I don't know, a cup of coffee once a month. Probably less than that. Depends where you get coffee at. You can figure out what $12 gets you. So $12 could be super chats to Jerome once a month for $1. Okay, so the company has now settled the suit to the tune of $7.5 million. Affected Google Plus users may file a claim for up to $12 before October 8th. So do yourself a favor, fill out this form. I don't know if there's here from this page. So it is called Google Plus. Let me just add this in the stream here, just so you guys can get to it. If you guys need to see, I'm sure some of you have used Google Plus, and I said, even again, if you haven't, maybe you should just try to fill it out and see. But go to Google Plus datalitigation.com and you can submit a claim here. And I think submitting a claim is right up here. So you go here, submit the claim, and then you don't do this part. You just click here to complete a claim form, put your email address, and then fill the form out. And then in, I don't know, I would imagine in like 6 to 8 months, probably less than that. I'm sure you'll get the $12 like drop as a digital check, I think, or you could even do PayPal, I think it said. So yeah, if you have a chance, go there, get $12. I just gave you guys $12. You should do me a favor and reap me like 10% of that $12 with a super chat. Just kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Okay. Otherwise, I think that's it for today. Let me get through chat here real quick just to make sure that like I see everybody in here. You guys are still talking about entanglement. You guys are no. Mark Smith says iPhone SE are great for grandparents and the tech unsavvy. It will last longer for them. That's a great point, Mark. Appreciate you saying that as well. Starting says damn kids in the chat. PG-13 from now on. No, I don't. Kid, here's the thing: is like I never filter yourselves. I have to filter myself, unfortunately, unless I rage, which I raged the other day, and I completely unfiltered myself. But please, appreciate you guys being you. Like the one thing I don't want you guys to do is to ever not be who you are. So like keep it real. For sure. Will says, LOL, Jerome has hope for the Pixel line again. So for you guys that don't really know my relationship with Will or George or Ted or whatever, or Mike, Will and I have been, for the most part, like to be perfectly frank, Will and I have been shitting on Pixels for a while. Will and I have loved the Pixel lineup for a long time, and then Will decided to just up and leave it, and now Will is the biggest Apple fanboy in the world. Which at some points, as I was talking about the Pixel here, and Will is going off about the Pixel, I was just like, Will, shut up. No, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for this Pixel 4a. I think the Pixel 4a 5G will be a great deal as well if it comes with updated specs other than just the 765G chipset. But we'll wait and see. I think I'm more curious about the Pixel 5 and how good that's going to be. That's the one phone I'm really waiting for, is what the Pixel 5 is going to have. Fear the Roof 42 says, I'm looking forward to my quote meeting later today. Also, make sure you get a designated quote meeting person. Don't be a hero. This is why I don't make my bed. Does that make sense now, guys? Do you guys understand? You guys in your goddamn entanglement. Will says, I'll wait and see what they do for the 5. Yeah, so yeah, I'm in the same boat, except I still bought the 4A. There you go. Big House says $12. You get a phone case for sure. George says October 8th is the big day for the lawsuit. Yeah, so make sure if you want that $12, fill that out, get some free money, because who doesn't need free money, especially in the times we're in. And I think that's it, guys. That is it for today. I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. I want to thank everybody for joining in the chat. I want to thank everybody for liking and sharing and subscribing, and for people who donated money in Super Chat. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for that support. To all of my patrons, to all of my YouTube members, I want to continuously thank you for always being there, and just for dropping by and saying hi and saying what's up. I hope you all have a great weekend. I don't know what you guys have planned for the weekend, but I hope it'll be entertaining, and we'll reconvene here 2 p.m. Central. With that being said, that is it for today. I will try to put out an empty apartment video tomorrow so you guys can see what this whole place looks like, because this is really all you've gotten to see. You haven't really seen much of this apartment. I'm like looking around and I'm like, can I like show you guys the rest of this apartment? So like that's not much of anything. And then like, you see it's very messy. So I've been trying to like keep things clean on this end, so it looks more presentable. All right, guys, come back Monday. We'll do it all over again. We'll have more stuff to talk about with the Pixel, because I'm not done talking about the Pixel just yet. And if there's any other new or exciting news, I'll be sure to share it. And yeah, that's it. Right? I think that's it. I'm hitting the play button. I'm waving by. Here goes the cheesy transition. Guys, thank you so much. Come back Monday, 2 p.m. Oh, wait, hold on. Tonight, check out Friday Night Tech Talk with Will, George, Mike, Ted, or whoever's going to be there. I'm not really sure. Check them out. I don't know who's hosting it, but check those guys out too. Show them some love. Show them some support. If it was not for those guys, I would have not even started streaming. So, okay, I'm restarting the music, waving by again. See you guys Monday. Take it easy.